as I mentioned, their unconscious mind is in that overdrive of panic and rage and anger, and it's just taking over them. So the next step that I really recommend for whatever situation you're in is to understand what each other need. Take some time to see, what do you need to have in a relationship to feel loved, honoured, happy, secure? What do you need through this affair recovery journey to feel safe, protected and loved? And then come together and work through some actions that you can put in place on a weekly basis, on a daily basis if possible, to rebuild the trust, rebuild the connection. It's not fair to expect someone to just get over it without any positive actions and steps. It's not possible for most people, at the beginning especially, to just put it in a box and say, I'm never going to ever talk about it again. It's natural for people to want to be able to talk about it. So I highly recommend, in the first few weeks, being able and available for them to talk about it several times a week, and then that lessens, and then it becomes when they need to, let's say once a week, once every few weeks, once a month, just to, if anything comes up or if a trigger comes up, deal with it. And it's a really good conversation to have, is to talk about how you're going to handle triggers, how you're going to handle these kind of things. Having empathy for one another, which I've talked about a lot throughout the whole of this episode, is also crucial. And I just wanted to highlight it again. I really love to believe that only hurt people hurt. And when we remember that hurt people hurt others, and this isn't saying that it makes the behaviour right or even justifiable. It just means that they're obviously hurting and not in a good place. And this is often sometimes when people cheat. They're hurting and they're not feeling good in themselves, and they're looking for an outside fix for their happiness or for their uncomfortable feelings, and they're hurting to do that, to hurt someone else. And the person that's been cheated on is hurting so much that they are hurting back. So when you can just always remember that, I find it's really helpful. And it's really great even for all things in life. If people do hurt me, I think, okay, they're hurting. And when I think about it like that, I can always see, yes, I can actually see, yeah, they really are. We all know what it's like when we're really tired, when we're not well, when we've had a really stressful day. We're snappy, we're horrible. And that's because we're hurting. So giving people love, reassurance, kindness, showing them that you accept their feelings, you accept them, is a loving thing to do. Of course, there also has to be an end point. You cannot be taking verbal abuse and other forms of abuse. If that's happening, of course, you need to set healthy boundaries for yourself, because otherwise it will affect your inner self, and then that will not be good for you, for the family, for the relationship. Now, I know a lot of the things I've said today is so basic, you already know it, and if you're going through the aftermath of an affair, you are living this, some of these things that I've said, maybe. And so, whilst it's obvious, sometimes we just really need to hear how to repair, that there is hope, that things can change, and that if you feel right now that you're stuck, there's no hope, that you're going crazy, that you don't know what to do, then I hope this is in some way useful to you. If you've enjoyed any of my podcasts, I'd be so grateful if you could leave a rating and review on the podcast app that you're listening to. And if you are interested in finding out more about my individual breakthrough programs or working with me one-on-one for couple support, then you can go to my website, nicolabeer.com. There's the option to book a free introduction call, and as well as lots of other information on my audio programs on the shop page and different things like that. And I wish you all the best. Thanks for listening. Bye.
Thank you for listening to Emotions and Eating with Nicola Beer. To book your free eating strategy session with Nicola, get the free eating support audio or donate. If you have enjoyed the show and want to help keep the show flowing, visit www.nicolabeer.com, where you can also find out more about her new system that has helped hundreds of men and women to change their relationship with food and their body, so they experience more peace and love in their life. We wish you an amazing love-filled day ahead.